I think that's one of the most important questions that you can ask somebody. And my reasons come down to the fact that I am a community member here, and one of the issues that I've always been very concerned about are our protections as women and children. Well, you know, myself as a mother and a daughter and a wife and a sister and an aunt, but I also have 3 daughters, and the youngest is 4 and the oldest is 24, and then I have 3 sons, but I also have 2 grandsons. And for me, after learning about all the different ways that Native people aren't protected on tribal lands, I realized that our own tribal codes weren't protecting us properly, and that there wasn't a lot of attention being brought to the issue. Recently there has been, and I'm really happy. I'd like to see that through. So that is the biggest reason. After that, it would be some other way to manage our enterprise, our businesses, and everyone says LLC this and LLC that, but you know, it's not working. We're losing money, and the truth is, the same people in office are the ones who keep getting voted in, are the ones who keep appropriating money for this board that has lost almost $20 million. I've been in communications for like 20 years. I started in college, and I've always had a love for information and for access to quality information. And I realized at a young age that there wasn't a lot of information about Native people that was being reported by Native people. So I went into communications at the University of New Mexico, where I graduated with my degree. And well, it's a Bachelor's of University Studies, which means I designed my own degree and petitioned the college, and then they accepted it and said, yes, this is a marketable plan. And that's something that they do that's really nice at the University of New Mexico. As well, they have some of the best Indigenous people studies professors and programs and opportunities, and I started in radio over there with Native American Calling, and just doing all kinds of work across the nation. We met everybody. It just really broadened my horizon, like my whole idea of what Indian people are, what we're doing. I saw like tribes doing just different things that you had never thought that tribes could do, but it's just by region, by what they were doing. So that's where I started in my career. And I've worked for different tribes. I've worked as a consultant. I've done communications now for this tribe. I also have a bit of a legal background. I've worked for a couple of attorneys, and I was hired as a legislative assistant in like 2004, and I got the opportunity to see DC like front row and meet a lot of different movers and shakers, and you know, it was really eye-opening as well. I feel like it's something that is going to benefit the nation for a Congress member to have somebody who has seen a lot of different tribes, has worked with a lot of different tribes, can see a lot of different opportunities, see what's failed, what hasn't failed, and also like not reinvent the wheel all the time. And also, I've also had the opportunity to see what happens on a federal legislative level, and I think it's important that you have the Osage Nation has legislators who are watchdogging what's happening in DC, so that we're not left wondering what's going on when something happens with WIC, when something happens with the IHS, when something happens with our roads or dollars that we've typically depended on for more than at least more than 10 years. You know, when those things change with administrations, you need tribal leaders who have that kind of experience. And I really haven't seen that in our tribal government as much as I'd like to see. And I think that that's something that I can definitely bring to the table as far as my education and experience. And otherwise that, it's just been firsthand, being around Indian people, being around my Osage people, being here, being present, knowing what it means to be humble, what it means to be respectful, what it means to go places as an Osage adult and participate in our culture. It's not something that I had the opportunity to do all the time growing up, but it's something that I've committed to doing for my children and for my family, because I think it's important that as an elected official you have that community, like responsible citizenry as an Osage, to be out there and supporting our traditional activities, like the smallest of dinners and the biggest of hand games, no matter what you're doing. Well, I like to add that I'm very nervous because I'm not usually on this side of the camera, and I really have like a sincere and devoted love for my Osage people. And from the beginning, I've said that I want to legislate with love, because I think that might be something that is getting lost in the midst of the things that happen quickly or focus on grabbing at gaming dollars. I think that there's little things that have slipped through the cracks that protect our people that really don't have a price tag attached. And those are some of the most important things, because our sovereignty is our most important ability. It's our most important asset as a tribal people, and it needs to be protected. It needs to be instilled in all the things that we do, and that sovereignty comes from love. That comes from a love of our people that happened a long time ago. Those laws and those abilities happened with people who died a long time ago, all of our ancestors. And if you look at what it entitles us to, you know that that was passed down with love. And that's what I want to do as a tribal leader. I want to be able to pass down those same type of laws that protect our people with love.